This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so sorry for yesterday's cancellation. Actually, the problem was that the system that we were using throughout this training that got corrupted. And yesterday he gave me the system, which is a completely fresh system. Okay, so that is the reason I have to cancel, because I need to replicate all the data that we created till now. Otherwise, like it was a even if he continues the yesterday's session, we would not be able to work or proceed from where exactly we left. So what I've done is I utilized yesterday's time to create all that data which we created till now, so that we can start from the next topic instead of in this. I don't wanted to do all this whatever things we have done till now again in the session. Okay, so now please make sure. I think most of you are not using this server uh, as of now. Okay, maybe you will be extend this server. Now you will be getting the new server. So client now is 400. Earlier we were using client 800. Now the same IP and all, you'll be getting client 400. And unfortunately, whatever data you have created earlier, okay, that you have to replicate once again. Okay, so that is a actually for you it is a good, because you will get one more chance to uh, perform this exercise once again. Okay, if you created, I know many of you have still not started the practice, so anyways you have to do it once again. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you whatever we have done till now. Okay, and then we will proceed with our other topics. So do you remember what exactly we covered in our last session? We understood the product cost planning, right? In product cost planning, what we have done is we have calculated the cost of the product. Okay, so if I go for transaction CK13N, what was our product? Our product was this desktop, right? And this plant ABCS, and I was using the standard costing variant, which is PPC1, right? So if I want to see the cost of this material at this plant with this costing variant, if I just press enter, so this is the cost that we calculated, right? The total cost of this material is 33,000 INR, right? We understood that how exactly this gets calculated. So if I go to the quantity structure, so for in order to manufacture this material, we need these many number of materials which are mentioned in the BOM, and we need to carry out the list of activities which are provided in the routing, right? So based on what is a material requirement and what is the activities that we need to carry out, system calculates the cost of the product. In addition to this, we also provided the costing sheet for the overheads. Okay, so if you remember, if I go to the cost and if I click on cost components, you can see these are our cost components. So total raw material requirement is 25,000. There is 10% material overhead, which is coming from this costing sheet. Okay, I'm maybe the name that we created last time is different, but don't worry, the
So
functionality is
Gaurav, you
same.
have completed this costing sheet
Yes. We
in
completed the costing sheet, but we considered whatever costing sheet was already available. So what are we going to do today is, first we understood the concept of what is product costing, how it is calculated. But what are we going to do today is, instead of using PPC1, we will also understand how to create your own costing variant and what are the important components into it.
okay. So but are we going to see costing sheets also, or you have covered this before in your before classes?
Costing sheet, some part we will cover, but if you just go through the classes, you will be also able to know what is costing sheet. I'll share the
Okay,
previous videos also with you.
sure.
Okay, so again, if I just want to see the cost of the product, so 33,000, you can see it is the complete cost, which includes, again, if I go to this, so raw material, then you have the 10% overhead, then you have the activities, okay, and finally you have the overheads related to activities. So overall 10% is what we defined in our costing sheet. Okay, so after this, what we have done, the last step that we have done in our last session is, this is just the calculation. This is just a calculation that what will be the cost of the product. But once I do the calculation, this amount will not directly appear in my material master as a standard cost, right? If I want to update this cost into my material master, then what I need to do is I need to go to transaction CK24, right? If you go to transaction CK24, you have to specify you want to update the price of which material. Okay, so there are two activities, if you remember, we discussed in our last session. Number one is marking the standard price. Do you remember what exactly marking the standard price will do? What is the difference between marking and releasing?
It will move from present price to future price when we release it. When
Present to future or future to
no,
present?
sorry, something like that actually. It moves from there are three time periods I remember, like.
All right. So when you go to the material master, okay, and if you go to the costing sheet, or sorry, the costing tab, let's go to this costing 2 for this plant. So there are three different sections: future price, current price, and previous price. So whenever I'll be doing this CK24 and I'll tell the system that mark this price, mark the standard price. Marking the standard price means whatever price we calculated just now using transaction CK11N, that price will be updated as the future price here. In the material master, that price you'll be able to see as a future price. Okay. After the future price, again, if I go to CK24 and instead of marking, this time I will release the price. Okay, when I say release means at that point of time, whatever is my future price which we calculated, that will become my current price. So in this particular case, you can see this price is already available as a current price, which means we already completed marking and releasing part. Okay, and once you release it, even if you go to the financial accounting tab, accounting 1 tab, you'll be able to see the standard price here. This will appear only if you have released the standard cost estimate. If you just calculated the future price, it will not update the standard price, right? It will only update this price when you have released the cost estimate. Okay, so what I'll do now is, instead of using, so whatever we have done, we got the basic understanding now. We know how to perform the standard costing of the product. We know how to update the cost of the product in the material master. We know what is marking, what is releasing. But now, till now, what we have done is, just for the understanding purpose, we use the standard costing variants PPC1 that was provided by SAP. What we will try to do now is, we will try to copy PPC1 and we will try to create our own costing variant, because most of the companies, if they are not happy with whatever is provided by SAP as a standard costing variant, they can copy it and they can create their own. Okay, so let's go to SPRO. Okay, and if you remember, we already seen where exactly the costing variant is created. So you'll go to product cost controlling, product cost planning. Okay, again within this, you will go to first material cost estimate with quantity structure, and this is a costing variant. Okay, so these are some of the costing variants which are already pre-delivered by SAP. If I want to create my own, what I'll do is I will just select this first one because this is related to the standard cost. And you can see others are not related to standard, they are relevant to some other estimates. So I'll copy this PPC1, let's copy it. Okay, maybe whatever you want. So I'm giving the same code as our company code just to identify. Okay, and we also discussed this last time. What are these different settings? So what is costing type? Costing type means which price you want to update in the material master. Okay, once you do the marking and releasing, what is happening currently is the standard cost of the material is getting updated. So this is in the costing type, you need to tell the system which price are you performing the calculation and what price you want to update in the material master. So this will remain same. We are not going to touch this. If you want, you can create your own. Again, you can create a copy of this 01. Okay, but not required. So you can skip that as it is. You can go to the valuation variant. We also discussed what are the different things available in the valuation variant, which is very important. We also tried to adjust it according to our requirements. So the material valuation. So if you go to CK13N, the estimate that we created. So what is happening here is for each and every material, system is able to determine the cost. Okay, so these are the raw material components that are required in order to manufacture a desktop. So how system is calculating the cost of RAM, which is 5,000, where exactly system is going and performing this check. What is the cost of RAM? What is the cost of hard disk? This is only available because you have defined here in the valuation variant from where to pick the value. So what is system is doing is system will first go in the material master and try to fetch the information if there is planned price available for this material. If the planned price is not available, it will go to price from the purchasing info record. It will try to pick the price from the purchasing info record. If that is also not available, it will go and try to pick the standard price from the material. Even if that is not available, then system will go and find the price from the moving average price. Right, so if you remember last time, this thing was not there. Okay, purchasing info record was not there, and we are not maintained planned price, standard price, moving average price of this material. So what was happening? System was not able to calculate the cost of the raw materials. Right, so depending upon the business requirements, we have to verify where exactly we need to go and fetch the information of price related to material. Okay, same goes for activity types. So one is what is the price of the raw material. Second is what is the price of the activity. Okay, so in this particular case, what are the activities that we need to carry out? We are carrying out multiple activities. So if I show you this one again, not this one, just give me a minute. Okay, you can see what are the activities. There is assembling activity, then there is packing activity, and then there is a quality check activity. So these are the three activities that we are carrying out, and these are the values. We are spending 2,000 on packing, 1,000 on quality, and 2,000 more on assembling. Now how system knows where exactly this price is maintained? Okay, this is a quantity, 20 minutes. We require 20 minutes to assemble. We require 10 minutes to pack, and we require 10 minutes to perform the quality. Where exactly this quantity information is stored? Do you remember where exactly we entered the quantity information? How much time is required to perform these activities? What are the different activities that we need to perform and how much time? This is maintained in routings, right? We created routing. In the routing, we specified which activities needs to be performed for how much time. Okay, so from routing we are getting this time: 20 minutes, 10 minutes, and 10 minutes. But where exactly is this price information stored? Where have we maintained that for performing this activity, what is the price per minute? So this assembling department, when the department is assembling this particular finished product, at that point of time, how much he is charging for per minute? Where is this information stored? Price per minute of activity. It is stored in KP26, right? I think you forgot everything, but please try to practice so that you don't forget these activities. Okay, so in KP26, if you go to, for me, it is 10th period now, which is because we are using V3. It is 2019. So assembling cost center provides assembling activity at what price? So if you go here, you'll be able to see, just a minute, what it is saying is, I think this controlling area is different. Yes, so ABCS. Okay, this is where you maintain the price. What you are telling the system is per minute price is 100. Per minute 100. And how much time we need to carry out this activity? It is 20 minutes. So 20 multiplied by 100 is 2000. Right? So in KP26, we are specifying what is the cost per minute in order to perform this activity. Okay. So how system is going and checking what is the price per unit? Again, using the valuation variant. So this is where you define how system will calculate the cost of the activity. So what we have told the system, in order to find out what is the cost of the activity, first you go and try if there is planned price for the period is available or not. So in this particular case, it is available. Okay, in this particular case, you can see this is a planned price. This is a planned price available for this material for this particular period. Okay, but if the planned price for the particular period is not available, if the system is not able to, let's say you are performing the costing for the 11th month, and if I go to the 11th month, we have not maintained any planned price as of now. You can see it is blank. So what system will do? System will go in the second step. System will try to go in the second step, and what it will do is it will try to fetch the price as the average of all fiscal year periods. Okay, so whatever number of periods you have maintained, let's say you maintain 8th, 9th, 10th, so it will perform the sum of all divided by 12, and that will become my activity price. Right? So this is where you can tell the system how to calculate the cost of the activities. These are related to subcontracting, external processing, and this is overhead. This is where you tell the system which costing sheet to be used. Okay, so I'm not going to change this material valuation and activity types because we already changed in our last session, but at least this overhead part, we will try to create our own costing sheet instead of using the standard costing sheet. Okay, so if I don't want to use the standard costing sheet, I can create my own costing sheet. Let's see how it can be created. Okay, so let me again go to SPRO. And if you remember, I already told you what is the purpose of costing sheet. The only purpose of costing sheet is to calculate the overheads. Okay, so BOM, routing, and costing sheet. These are the three important components of your product costing. BOM gives you the details about the raw material requirements. Routing gives you the information about the activities that you need to carry out. And in addition to BOM and routing, whatever is the total price, you may want to apply some overheads. So overheads are coming from the costing sheet. So product cost controlling, product cost planning, basic settings, and you'll be able to see this overhead folder. Open the overhead folder. This is where you can create the costing sheet. Okay, so let's click on the define costing sheet. These are the costing sheets which are pre-delivered. If you want to create your own, you can copy one of this or you can create everything from scratch. So let's go for the new entry. And let's say I'm creating the costing sheet ABCS. Okay. Now, before you create a costing sheet, you must know what exactly you are going to enter in the costing sheet. Okay, what are the different lines that you want within the costing sheet? Okay, so in my case, I'll keep it simple. I'll say first line is material, second line is material overhead, third line is production, fourth line is production overhead. Okay, these are the 4 lines that I want to see in my costing sheet. So in short, I want to create the overheads for material and for production. Okay, so I'll select this ABCS and go to the costing sheet rows. Click on new entry. Okay, just provide whatever row number you want. So let's say 10. This is important. If you do F4, these are the different bases which are already available. Again, if you want, you can create your own bases, but normally not required. So first one, I'll use this material. Okay, it is not an overhead. It is a the material, whatever material we are using, it is going to be same. Okay, so whatever description you want to give, this is, let's say, raw material requirements. Okay, in the second line, instead of entering the base, you have to enter the overhead, because based on this, some percentage you want to apply on the second line. Okay, so again, if you do F4, here you will be able to see a lot of overheads which are already created. So I'll click on this one, material overhead. So this is nothing but raw material overhead. Okay, and how you want to calculate your raw material overhead. So I want to, what is the base? What is the base of this raw material overhead? So whatever is this raw material cost, that will be the base, and I will apply some percentage on it, which means the calculation will start from the 10th row and end at the 10th row. Okay, so this raw material overhead will be dependent on this first line. Okay, and credit means where exactly you want to post it. You need to post it separately. So again, if I do F4, you'll be able to see some credits which are already available. If you want to create your own, you can obviously create it. Okay, so let's go with this E01. Now, once you created this, let's go to the third one. This time it would be production. So for production, I can go for B10 or I can go for wages, whatever you think is good. Okay, and this is production cost. No need to specify anything here. Let's go to the 40. And for 40, you will go for production overheads, or you can go for manufacturing overheads. It is one and the same thing, right? So this is production overhead. How it will be dependent on, what is the base for this? The base is production cost, which is 30 to 30. Again, if you do F4, you will be able to see credit material, credit personnel. We can use anything actually, but don't worry about the description. But if you are not able to find the description, you can create your own account key. It is completely fine. So as of now, I'm just using this, pressing enter. And now I need to specify how system will calculate the material cost. So if you remember in our last session, in order to determine the material cost, we have to specify the material consumption account, okay, which is managed in OBYC settings. If you go to OBYC, or even if you go to this one also, material cost estimate, you'll be able to see what is that cost element. You can see these are the cost elements. This 4, 5 times 0 is a GL account, which should be debited whenever you consume this raw material, hard disk, monitor, and all. Right? So this is your cost element related to the material cost. So what we can do is, we can tell the system, we can tell the system that our base for controlling area ABCS is this cost element 4000 to 4000. Okay, this is fine. Let's go for the credit. How this system will calculate what is the total percentage you want to apply. So last time we applied 10%. This time you will not be able to select a base, because base is only available for the first line. So for this, you will go for overhead rate. Okay, you can see I already maintained overhead rates actually for another key, but here I can make the change. So if I don't want 10%, if I only want 5%, I can come here and I can easily make the change. Okay, so what is the difference between overhead type 1 and 2? This is the planned overhead. Sorry, one is actual overhead and second is planned overhead. What is the difference? So whenever you are calculating the planned cost, when we are executing this is calculating the planned cost. So in planned cost, I have 5%. But in actually, if I want to change in the actual one, if I want to change it to 6%, 7 or 10%, that can also be done. That would be used when you are performing the actual costing later on. We will understand that also. Okay, so as of now, this is being used, number 2, which is for the planned overheads, right? So if I go to credit, first let me select this line. Okay, and if you go for credit, you'll be able to see which GL account would be credited for the costing sheet. Okay, so whenever this cost will be calculated, where exactly this is going to be posted. So this is a secondary cost element. This is a secondary cost element of nature overheads. Okay, we created this 9004 in our last session, if you remember. If I go and try to show you, so if you go to FS00, okay, this 9004, let's click on display. You can see this is cost element category overhead rates, right? So I created two, one for material overhead and second for production overhead. And that is the reason if you go to production overheads here, manufacturing overheads, and go for credit, you will be able to see 9005 also. So 9005 is related to production overheads. Okay, and what is the overhead rate? Just select this line, go for overhead rate. So as of now, it is 10%. If you want to keep it 10% for production, 5% for material, it is also fine. Okay, so whatever, if you want to change, you can change, otherwise you can keep it as it is. Okay, so let's save it now.
Vikram, I have a question here.
Yes.
So when I understand overhead, I understand it additional expenses on top of the whatever the material expense or labor is there. So
Right.
if it is coming through secondary cost element, it means we have gathered those expenses in that particular cost secondary cost element, or
Yes, exactly. So see, when you calculate this cost, let me show you. As of now, see, we are just planning. So whenever you are planning, at that time also, you need to tell the system where exactly to collect that particular cost. Just give me a minute. So if you go to this cost estimate, okay, so you can see this is where system needs to identify where exactly this overheads will be posted. So this is where it is determining this 2 GL accounts that we created related to overheads. Okay, as of now, it is not posting anything. The postings will be done later on whenever you will go for the cost object controlling, right? As of now, we are just performing the planning. So this is not going to make any postings. This is just to calculate the overheads.
okay. So but finance, like I understand it's estimated cost, but when actually expense will incur, at that time, will any of this get impacted or no?
Yeah, see, what will happen is whenever the actual expense, when the actual expense will come into the picture, when you are manufacturing this material, right? So
Yeah.
when you are manufacturing this material, this cost elements will get debited. Okay, and finally, whatever has been debited, whatever has been posted in 9004 and 9005, ultimately this also needs to be settled to the actual cost element, right? So that is a separate task. That is a task when we are going to see the production order and how exactly the WIP will be calculated and the variance will be calculated. But yes, as of now, they are just for the information purpose. It is system is just asking us which cost element I should use to post later on.
Okay, Vikram, thank you.
Yeah, but this will become clear once we go to the cost object controlling. These things will also become clear.
Okay, Vikram.
Okay, so as of now, system is able to calculate the cost, but we just now changed the valuation to ABCS, and that is exactly, we just created the costing sheet. Now we need to go to the costing variant, and we need to tell the system that don't use this cost sheet. If I'm using my own costing sheet, sorry, if I'm using my own costing variant, then I don't want to use this costing sheet. I want to use some other one. So let me go to the valuation variant, enter, click on change mode. Okay, in the overheads, you should be able to see your own costing sheet now. You can see this ABCS. Okay, and save it. Okay, so this is what you can change in the valuation variant. So 1, 2, and 3, these are the important things that you will be able to see in your valuation variant. Okay, subcontracting and all these are related to the other processes. But if you just want to calculate the cost of the normal product, so it is BOM, routing, and the costing sheet. So these are the three components. Now, if I just come out of this, we also understood the date control in our last session. Okay, maybe I'll explain you once again. So date control means there are 4 dates. Okay, whenever you go for CK11N, let's say now this time I will try to calculate the cost of the product once again. So CK11N. Okay, but this time instead of using the standard costing variant, I will use ABCS, the costing variant that we created just now. I hope we have saved. I think it is still not saved. So let me first save it. Okay, let me just save this new costing variant that we created. Okay, now if I go for this material cost estimate, I should be able to see ABCS. So if I press enter, see system is determining these 4 dates. Okay, these 4 dates are getting determined from this config in the date control. Okay, so you can see what is the default value of costing date from start of the next month. Okay, you can see based on this, it is proposing the start of the next month, which is 1st of Feb 2020. Now, if I want to change this, I want to tell the system that please, whenever I'm performing the standard cost estimate with the costing variant ABCS, I don't want start of the next month. I want the current date, today's date. Okay, I want this as current date, and if I save it, right now you will be able to see the difference. If I go to CK11 once again, please note down this. This will become 12th of, or yeah, 12th of Jan, today's date, current date. Right, let's try. So if I go for CK11N, let me just come out completely. Yeah, CK11N. Okay, I'm using this same material, but costing variant is ABCS. Press enter. You can see system is proposing current date. Okay, so these dates can be controlled, default dates. It is not necessary. I can change this once these dates are defaulted. If I want, I can change it. Okay, again, whether we are allowed to change or not, that can also be controlled from here. See, manual entry is allowed. That is the reason it is allowing you the option of changing it. I can change it. But if I untick all these things, okay, now again, if you try to execute this CK11N, okay, again with the same costing variant, now this time you can see it is not allowing you to change at all. Right, system is not allowing you to change the dates. Why? Because the settings that we maintained for the date control are not allowing these dates to be entered manually. Right, so this is a date control. Using this date control, you can control what dates to be picked. Okay, next one is the quantity structure. So which BOM and which routing, how system will be able to determine the BOM and routing, that is something which is available here. So as of now, we only have one BOM and routing. Maybe later on we will see if there are multiple BOMs and multiple routings, how the system will go and identify which BOM to select and which routing to select. Okay, so I hope you got the idea of the costing variant now, how you can create your own costing variant and how you can create your own costing sheet. What we will do is we will try to carry out the material cost estimate using this new one, but we are getting an error. What is the error? Material desktop in plant ABCS has a released cost estimate. This means we are trying to calculate the cost of the product, but we already carried out this activity and we also released that price in the material master. So normally speaking, we are not going to do this activity again and again. In the normal practice, in the base practice, the material cost estimate is required once in a year. Okay, this activity of calculating the cost of the product is normally done once in a year. But if a product is having lot of fluctuations, maybe you need to perform monthly or quarterly also. So there are some companies who are performing this cost estimate even monthly on the quarterly basis. But again, within a month, because in the same month, I already executed the costing, I already marked and released the price. Again, in the same month, if you try to do the costing, system will give you this error. Why it is giving you this error is because there is already the released cost estimate which is already available for this particular month. So what is the solution? If you think that no, whatever you had done was wrong, the cost is not 33,000. I applied 10% over it, which is wrong. I should have applied 5% over it. So first, I have to delete. The first thing is I have to delete the existing cost estimate. Okay. The first thing is if I want to change the cost estimate in the same month, if it is released already, I have to delete the older one. Then only I can perform the calculation of the newer one. Right? The question is, how can I delete it? Now, we only understood that we can calculate the cost, we can mark the cost, we can release the cost. But later on, if you find out that whatever cost you have released is wrong and you want to change it, so in that case, there are two important transactions that you should know. Okay, as of now, one, when I'll show you the CK40, at that time I'll tell you another one. So as of now, one important transaction is in accounting, controlling, product cost controlling. We are currently still in product cost planning. We have not touched cost object controlling. So I'll go to product cost planning. Within product cost planning, you will go to environment. You will go to material costing. There are some background noise. Can you just mute yourself if you don't have question? Yeah, thank you. So in material costing, this is the last transaction that we need to use, CKR1. CKR1 is a transaction which will allow you to delete the cost estimate which is already created. Okay, so I want to execute this for this company which is ABCS, for this plant. If you want to enter the plant, otherwise we only have one plant. You can enter the material number or you can keep it open so that all the materials, including the raw materials, the estimate is deleted. Okay, now this is important, this control parameters. See, the first one is, if you understand this, let me just do F1, not here. I need to do F1 here. So if you go with this check, what will happen is, if you select this indicator, all the standard cost estimates will be flagged for deletion except those whose results are currently visible in the material master. So currently in our case, the results are already visible in the material master because we already released it, right? So if you created multiple cost estimates, but only one is visible in the material master, and if you want to delete all others, then you can go for this option. Okay, otherwise, if you just want to delete the future cost or the current cost or the previous cost, see there are three costs. If you remember again in the material master, there are three different costs: current price, future price, and what is the last one? Previous price. If you go to MM03 desktop, costing to view, okay, you have the future price, you have the current price, and you have the previous price. Now in this particular example, we only have the current price. But it is very much common when you are working on day-to-day basis on this material, you will be having future price also, you will be having current price also, and you will be having previous price also. So the question is, system is asking you which price you want to delete. Now in this particular case, I want to delete the current price. Okay, so I can select this deletion of the current price, or if I select this, it will go and delete future, current, previous, all three prices it will delete. If you go with this option, then all these three prices will be deleted. But if you want to delete a particular price, then you have to select this. Okay, so in my case, I'll select this because I want to delete all, although there is no future and previous, but this will be deleted. Right? So let's first do the test run, execute it. Why it is not picking any material? Let's see. Or let's go for the standard price, because this one is we already have the released one. That might be the reason. So let's go for the current standard cost estimate. Okay, yes, so you are getting the 6 materials. One is your finished product and 6 are your raw materials. So I want to delete all these prices. So what I'll do is remove the test run and execute. Right, it has been done. How you can verify whether it is done properly or not? So first thing is, if you go to the material master, you can see, you are able to see the price with the current month, plant price and standard price. Okay, so I'm not touching this. I will open the same screen once again, MM03 desktop, and go to costing 2 view. Can you see the difference? Okay, the period is not appearing, the plant price is not appearing, only the standard price is available as it is. Okay, so it has deleted this information. It has deleted this information. And other thing, even if you go to CK40N, okay, and if you want to see the price available for the PPC one, because the earlier one which we already released was PPC one, if you press enter, system will show you no cost estimates found. So the cost estimates are deleted from the material master also, and they are deleted from the CK11N also, which means now there is no released cost estimate available for this material. So if you want to calculate once again using any another costing variant, it is up to you. You can do it. Right? So let's go and try the costing variant ABCS. Okay, and press enter. Oh, sorry, I'm in CK39. So I want to create. Create means CK11N. Okay, enter. You can see now costing has been carried out, and there is a difference. Instead of 33,000, system is only calculating the cost as 31,250. Why? Let's go and see. So if you see this, where is our overheads? It is not performing any overheads, it seems. We will see why. We will see the reason. So first one is your assembling cost. Then you have 6 raw materials. Then you have, it is performing the overhead, but it is only performing for raw materials. And how much percentage this is? This is 5%, which is correct. What about the production overhead? Why production overheads are not getting calculated? Any idea? Let's go to the costing sheet and see. Definitely there is something wrong, because of which system is not able to perform the calculation on the overheads. Okay, so although we told the system that perform the 10% calculation, but let's go and see the base. There is no base. System doesn't know 10% on what, right? We need to tell the system 10% on what. So 10% on the activities related cost element. Which is the activities related cost element? The activities related cost element is this one, 9003. See, assembling, packing, and quality all are using the same cost element. So what we need to tell the system is calculate 10% additionally on this cost elements 9003. Okay, so let's go back and try this once again. /n CK11N. See, this time it is not giving you the option of changing the dates. It is automatically taking you to the cost estimate. Why? Because we deselected those indicators. We unticked those indicators which were allowing us to change the dates. Okay, so press enter. Now you can see it is 31,750. Let's go and see how much it is calculating. So it is calculating 500, which is correct because our activity cost is 5,000 and 10% of 5,000 is 500. So this is my raw material overhead and this is my production overhead. Right? Is it clear now? What is a costing sheet? What is a costing variant? How you can create your own costing sheets? How you can create your own costing variants? What is a valuation variant? What is a date control in the costing variant? What is BOM? What is routing? Where exactly to maintain the activity prices? So these are all the things are interlinked to each other. If you miss any of this activity, you will not get the correct price. Okay, any questions till now?
Vikram, why do we need a date control? Sorry.
Date control, as I told you, date control will tell you this dates. Okay, so this, whatever you have created, the cost estimate, from when it will be applicable until what date it will be applicable. This is one thing. Second thing is the BOM and routing. On which date, from which date you want to pick the BOM and routing. So maybe you have the separate BOM for this month and next month you added some more components into it. So whenever you are performing the cost estimate, you need to tell the system which BOM should be considered.
Okay, Vikram. And yeah, initially you talked about something, cost variance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why we.
This costing variant, right?
Uh-huh.
This is exactly what we are understanding, Sneha. So costing variant is the heart of the product costing. So based on, see, whenever you want to perform the costing, without this costing variant, you cannot calculate the cost of the product. And what exactly is managed by the costing variant? All these things, from where to pick the BOM, from where to pick the routing, from where to pick the activity prices, from where to pick the material prices, what would be the date control. So all those things are actually coming from the costing variant itself. Let me show you once again.
Got it, Vikram.
Yeah. So this is a costing variant. So based on which costing variant you are selecting, which price you want to update. If you go to the valuation variant, you can tell how to calculate the material price, how to calculate the activity price, which cost sheet should be considered, what would be my date control, which dates will become my from date to date. So all these things are actually determined based on this costing variant itself.
Okay, Vikram. And last question, costing types. I
Yeah.
only remember standard costing. The costing
Yes.
type.
So as of now, yeah, as of now, we only understood one standard cost estimate. Okay, so both when we use PPC1 and ABCS, we want the system to update the standard price of the material. But later on, when we will try to understand the cost object controlling, during that case, whenever we are performing the product costing, we will not be doing the product costing just to update the standard price of the product. We will be doing the cost estimate to update the planned price for the production order, planned price for the sales order, right? So at that time, we don't want system to update the standard cost estimate. At that time, I will show you other costing types which will also come into picture. But as of now, just remember that whenever we are performing the CK11N, at that time, the costing type should be standard cost.
Okay, Vikram. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, any other questions till now? So we understood CK24, we understood what is marking, we understood what is releasing, and I also told you today that if you are not happy with the price which is calculated by the system, if you feel there are some changes required, so if there is already released cost estimate available in that particular month, system will not allow you to recalculate the price. So what you need to do is you need to delete the standard cost estimate. You need to delete the released cost estimate. And how are you going to do that? Using this new transaction, which we understood today. We have not discussed this earlier, which was CKR1. Okay, so using this transaction, you'll be able to see in controlling, product cost controlling, product cost planning, environment, material costing, and this CKR1. It will help you in deleting the released cost estimate. Okay, and then you'll be able to perform the calculation. So if you are happy with this calculation now, okay, so we already performed CK11N, but we are still not saved it. So if you want to change it, let's try to save and let's try to update it into the material master. How are we going to update in the material master? What should I do to update this new price in the material master? Earlier it was 30,000.
Mark and release.
Mark and release, right? So where should I go to mark and release?
CK24.
CK24. So let's go to CK24. The first thing that I'll do is mark the price, and this is for the 10th period of 2019. Okay, so what it is saying is, let me see the company code. So company code is ABCS. Okay, let's do the test run first. Everything is fine. 7 materials will be costed. So I can remove the test run. Okay, this is marking, mark the standard price. Now, once I mark the standard price, what should be able to see in the material master? Where should I go and see this price?
MM03.
M03, but where exactly? Is this a standard price or this future price?
Costing 2, it will be current price, right? Once we released it.
Current or future? Because we have marked
Once we
not released it.
marked, it's future, and once we release it will be current.
Yes, so as of now, we marked it. So when we mark it, it will become our future price. Right? So when you are marking it, it will become your future price. When you release it, your future will come to current, your current will become previous. Right? Future will become current, current will become previous. Let's try, go to CK24 once again, and this time, instead of marking, you will change this to releasing. So there is a release button here, click on release. Now you can see release the standard price. Again, if you want to do the test run, you can tick this, otherwise just execute. Okay, so 7 material cost has been updated. So let's go to the material master once again. MM03. Okay, remove all, go to the costing 2 view. You can see your future price has become current. Okay, since we don't have current price, current is not moved to previous, but otherwise our future price has become our current price. Right? And once this current price is updated, you can also go to the accounting 1 view to check the standard price. You can see standard price is also updated.
Vikram, we had 33,000 there, right?
It was 33,000 earlier, but now we changed it, right? We provided overhead rate instead of 10% as 5% now.
Okay.
That is the reason this price has been changed. So we were not happy with that 33,000. Let's say you updated it and then management said, no, why you applied 10% on the material overhead? It should be 5%.
Oh, so we
that
deleted. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we deleted that 10% and we provided 5%. Okay, so any questions till now?
So Vikram, what is the T code for that costing sheet you just created before that?
Costing sheet.
Yes.
Okay, let's go and find out. Costing sheet is, no, maybe I'll go through this way. Additional information, display key, and MG activity. KZS2.
Okay, and this costing sheet we create only for that overhead expenses, right?
Yes, this is only for overhead. The purpose of
And where
costing sheet is just for the overheads.
okay, and where we can see like overhead expenses which are related with this, costing. It is only in that cost estimate which is run. We can see, right?
Yes, yes. So you can go to CK13N. Once the cost has been saved, you can go to CK13N. And overheads you will be able to see here. These are the overhead lines.
Okay, and this is not get updated in material, right?
See, G is overhead. It is clearly showing you. If you understand this properly, it is E is activity, M is
Okay.
material, and
Okay.
G is overhead.
Okay.
Yeah, you were asking something?
No,
In the
so this is
material,
not. Yeah.
in the
In
material
MS.
master, it will show you the final price. It will not show you the bifurcation there.
Okay. Okay.
Calculations will appear here. If you just want to see the total material price, you can go to the material master.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so any questions in performing the material costing?
Uh, Vikram, I'm not
Yes.
sure if my other students have practiced or not, but are you planning to go ahead with any other topic, or we will it we will
No,
stop?
I will go with one more topic today, but that is very much relevant. So it is not very difficult. You will be able to digest it very easily. But yes, if you practice, then these things will become very easy. But if you don't practice, then maybe every time you are piling up and it
Mhm.
will, you're bound to forget a lot of things.
Okay, Vikram. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So another very much relevant topic, again, it is related to the standard cost planning itself. Only difference is, see what we have done from maybe last 3-4 sessions. We are just trying to calculate the cost of the single product, the desktop. Okay, every time we are calculating the cost of just one product, just for the understanding purpose, right? But think about a company. Okay, think about a company where there are thousands of finished products, or maybe hundreds of finished products. Do you think that they are going to do this activity at once for one material, by one material? Will they do this CK11N separately for desktop? If they have 100 types of desktops, do you think that they will go to CK11N and they will do this activity for one material at a time? That is obviously not the productive way, right? They will not do this calculation for one material at a time. If there are hundreds of materials, they will try to do all the 100 materials at once, right? So CK11N transaction is good whenever you want to try or whenever you want to do the costing of one material at a time. Okay, maybe as a consultant, whenever a user is facing issue, we can definitely go and we can run CK11N. But during the actual product costing, most of the time, the companies are not using this T code because they don't want to plan one material at a time. Okay, so if you want to process multiple materials at the same time, if you want to calculate the cost of multiple materials at the same time, there is another transaction code which is normally used, that is CK40N. Okay, so just remember the basic difference between CK11N and CK40N is CK11 is good when you are planning to have one material, when you are performing the costing of one material. CK40N will allow you to plan the cost of the multiple materials Plus, if you are running CK11N, it is only to calculate the price. If you want to update the price, so for marking and releasing, you need to go to transaction CK24. The CK40N will allow you to perform the costing of multiple materials, plus the same transaction will also include marking and releasing part. So if you are using CK40N, no need of CK24 separately. One single transaction which will allow you to cost multiple materials at the same time with marking and releasing. Right? How to use this? So again, the problem is we already got the released cost estimate for this material. So we may face issue. So what I'll do is first I will remove the standard cost. So how to do that? We just now understood. I'll go to CKR1. Okay, and for our company code, I will try to remove all the standard cost estimates which are created as of now. So I'll remove this test run and execute. Okay, so now there is no standard cost estimate available for this materials, all 7 materials, right? Which means if I go to CK13N and try to see if there is any release cost estimate, you can see there is no cost estimate as of now. Okay, please also understand when I say I can plan one material at a time, although when I enter the finished product here, even in CK11N, system will cost the raw materials, the components, right? So, but I can only provide here one finished product in CK11N. While in CK40, I am getting the flexibility of providing multiple finished products. Okay, so CK40N is the costing run. Okay, so there are different steps. We will talk about that. So number one, you have to provide some logical name to the costing run. Okay, whatever name, it is just a text, but it should be logical. So let's say I already executed ABCS1. This time I want to do the second run for my company, which is ABCS. Okay, description also I'll provide as same ABCS2. The costing run, I will enter today's date. So today's date is 12th. Okay, and if I press enter, system will tell me there is no such costing run because we are creating it now. It was not available already. So if you want to create this, click on create the costing run. Okay, when you create a costing run, now system will ask you different things. Okay, so again, let me provide this ABCS2. It is asking you costing variant, costing version, controlling area, company code, transfer control. So just provide the costing variant, which we want as ABCS. Costing version, I will go with 01. Controlling area, again ABCS. Company code, again ABCS. Just press enter. Okay, so costing run has not yet been saved. Let's try to save it. Okay, once you save it, then you'll be getting this 5 or 6 steps. Okay, normally within between selection and costing, there is bomb explosion also. Okay, but maybe this time we don't have much material, so we will see that later on if required. So selection, costing, analysis, marking, and releasing. So all the things which we were doing separately for CK11 and CK24, mark, release, all those things can be done at one step. Okay, in this single transaction, system will perform all these steps one by one. So first one is selection. What do you mean by selection? Selection means you need to tell the system which materials you want to cost. And how are you going to do that? You are going to click on this button. Change the parameters. Click on this. Here system will ask you which material you want to plant. So I can provide the range of materials, or I can keep this blank and provide the plant. So if you want to plant all the materials in your plant, you can just enter the plant here. It will consider all the different materials in this plant. Okay. Then what is important? I don't think there is anything more important here. Only thing is, since there are not much materials, I will remove this background processing. In the real time, if there are thousands of materials, it should be done in the background processing. So simple, what I'm telling is, I'm telling the system that I want to do the costing of all the materials which are available in this plant ABCS. Okay, so this is a variant. You know the variant concept in SAP system, right? Variant means whenever you will get this type of selection screen, you can enter your selections and you can save it. When you save it, it will save it as a variant. So let's try to save. You can see values of variant has been saved. Just come out. And once the variant is saved, then you'll be able to see this execute button. This execute button will only come when you save the variants. So just execute it and system will show you which materials are selected. So if you see this, there are total 7 materials selected. One is second level. Second level means finished product, and 1 means the low level, which means raw materials. So 1 finished product and 6 raw materials. If you click on this material overview, it will give you the complete list of those materials. You can see second level is desktop and first level materials are the raw materials. Okay, so this is fine. System is able to determine which materials needs to be costed. Then second is perform the costing, which means system will try to execute CK11N for each and every material. So just again click on this change parameters. If you want to change anything, okay, again I'm removing the background processing. Normally we don't change anything here, just click on save. Okay, and once you save the variant, as I told you, you'll be able to see this execute button. Just execute it. Okay, so this has been turned to green, which means free of errors. There are no errors, and you can see all the materials are costed. So system has performed the CK11N in the background for all the 7 materials. Okay, next is analysis. Analysis means before you mark and release, if you just want to see whether the costing is carried out properly or not. So you'll again click on analysis. Okay, there are these different reports which you can see. Let's see the results of the costing run. Okay, just press enter. First save this, first you need to save this. So you want to see the result of this costing run ABC2, costing date this one. Click on save. Again, once you click on save, you will be able to see the execute button here. If you execute this, see system is showing you this is the price that system is able to calculate. So this is analysis, just to verify that everything has been updated properly or not, which means CK13N. This is like CK13N transaction, which is showing you what is the cost of the product. Okay, if you want to go in detail, you can select a particular object and it will show you the price of that particular material. Okay, so let's come out. Now, if you are happy with this, what you will do next is you will mark. Okay, again for marking, you will go to the variants. Let's remove this test run and background processing and save it. Okay, come out. You will be able to see the execute button. If you do this, what will happen? System will mark these materials. Okay, let's go and verify whether these are marked properly. So what should I be able to see after the marking? I should be able to see this price in the material master as the future price. So deselect costing to for ABCS. You can see this has become my future price. Okay. Again, if I proceed with this, the next step is performing the release. Okay, so this is a log. If you open this, it will tell you what has been happened in the background. Okay, so 7 materials were planned successfully. Last one is a release. So again, if you click on this change parameters, if you remove the test run and background processing, save it, go back and try to execute this. This will release the price. Okay, this has released the price, which means again, if I go to the material master, okay, /n mm03, Okay, deselect all, go to costing to view. Okay, and ABCS. So you can see it has become my current price. Right, so CK40N will allow you to perform the standard cost estimate of multiple materials at the same time, plus it will allow you to mark and release from the single transaction. Okay, and most of the companies, they perform this CK40N only because they need to do this activity at least every yearly. If they have thousands of finished products, they are not going to do these activities one by one. Normally they perform this activity using CK40N. Okay, have you understood what is CK40N now? And as costing run. And once your costing has been completed, okay, you can just come out. If you go to CK40N once again, it will keep the hold. It will keep the log. So if you see this ABCS2, it will always tell you what happened when you executed this transaction. Okay, and now if I want to delete this history, if I don't want to keep this log unnecessarily in my database, what I can do is I can delete this costing run. There is a separate transaction code to delete the costing run. Okay, I'm not changing the price of the material. I'm just deleting the log information of the costing run. So for that, you will go to controlling, product cost controlling, product cost planning, environment again, costing run, and CK44. Delete the costing run. Okay, you will tell the system that I want to delete this costing run, execute. It has been deleted, which means now if I go to CK40N, and if I try to see the, just a minute, it is still showing something wrong. CK44, delete the costing run. Yeah, delete. I have not ticked on this indicator. Delete. Now it is deleted. Okay, so which means if you go to CK40N now, see, it is not showing you any information. Okay, it is not showing you the complete log. Okay, from the performance point of view, you keep the log of at least for 1 or 2 months, but later on, there is no need of unnecessarily having the logs of the previous costing runs, and you execute this transaction to delete the log. Okay, so any questions till now?
So CK40N is for calculate cost estimate, right?
Sorry, Amit?
CK40N is for the calculated cost estimate, right?
Yes. It is calculation, marking, and releasing all at the same time.
Okay, so prerequisite to run first CK11 for this one, right? After
No,
this
no,
is
no. You don't need to run CK11. CK11N is required only when you are planning one material at a time, one finished product at a time.
okay.
It is not a
Okay.
prerequisite. If you don't need to run CK11N separately for all materials, you can just go to CK40. See, there are two options. You can go to CK11 or you go to CK40.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so any questions? No questions. Can we proceed to our next topic now?
Vikram,
Yeah.
Can we talk to other students? Are they ready for the next topic? Will that be relevant to this, or it will be completely different?
No, actually, the new topic which I am going to touch now, it is related to production. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we set up the production planning component now, because we are going to start with cost object controlling. So there is a lot of production configuration which will be required. So in the real-time project, you don't need to worry about those production related settings, but at least we will try to create those settings which will be used in our future sessions. So we can directly start with costing related topics in the coming sessions.
Okay.
Okay, so whatever I'm going to discuss now for next maybe 15, 20 or half an hour, you don't need to worry about, you don't need to remember all those things. Just make sure that whenever you are practicing, maybe you can refer to my recording, and I will also send you the screenshots of the production related configurations that I'm doing. That is enough. So you don't need to worry about how exactly these things are done, because in the real time project that will be handled by PP.
Okay, Vikram.
Yeah, at least we can save that 15, 20 minutes of time in the next session. So maybe I'll just complete that production related part.
Sure.
Okay, so any other questions before we move to the PP related settings?
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I haven't received last week. I mean, last week was that recorded videos.
I think I already shared. All
Uh,
the videos are already.
there was no class, I think, last week. But prior to that, I think I'm missing with one or two videos. I feel that.
No problem. Let me check, Deepa. If there is anything, I think you shared the new email ID, so maybe there is a confusion on that. So I'll just verify that, because
Sure, sir.
otherwise I already shared all the videos with all of you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now what we will do is, see, whatever we have done till now. If you remember, on when we started the product costing, I told you there are two parts in product costing. Do you remember that? What are the two parts in product costing? Number one is product cost planning. Okay, this is the one that we are doing from last 3-4 sessions, right? We understood how to determine the product cost estimate, how to mark the product, how to release the product, what is the difference between CK40 and CK11N, what is the costing variant, what is the costing sheet. So that is what we discussed in product cost planning. The next one that we are going to discuss is cost object controlling. Now again, this cost object controlling has three parts. Okay, number one, the first one that we will start is product cost by order. Okay, when I say order, this means production order. Number two is product cost by period. Okay, and number three is product cost by sales order. So in coming few sessions, we are going to focus on product cost by order and product cost by period. Okay, this product cost by sales order we will understand only when we complete the COPA part. So after completing COPA, we will talk about product cost by sales order. So as of now, we need to start off with cost object controlling, and within cost object controlling, we will discuss product cost by order and product cost by period. Okay, what is the difference? What is the product cost by order and what is product cost by period? Anyways, I don't need to tell you now, but what exactly is cost object controlling? See, till now, whatever costing we have done, we just updated in the material master that this is the standard cost of this material, right? So whenever you do any transaction, whenever you get the material, whatever is the difference is booked as variance. So let's say, for example, you are manufacturing the desktop. You know what is the standard cost of the desktop. Your standard cost of desktop is 31,750. Now you started the manufacturing process. Okay, so when you start the manufacturing process, definitely you need to create the production order. Okay, which is done in the PP module. So once you create a production order, you start producing the material. Okay, the stores department will issue you the raw material, RAM, hard disk, whatever material is required, they will issue you that material. The work centers will perform those activities, assembling, quality, and packing. Okay, and once all the activities are completed, okay, once you complete all those activities, what you also will get is the actual price. Okay, so it is not necessary that your actual price will always match with your plant price. For example, you are manufacturing, let's say you got an order. Okay, you want to manufacture 100 desktops. Now, in order to manufacture 100 desktops, if you are taking 20 minutes to assemble one desktop, which means you need 2000 hours. Sorry, is it correct? 2000 not hours, 2000 minutes to do the assembling activity for 100 units of desktop. Now, let's assume that instead of 2000 hours, you were able to do this activity in 1800 hours itself. So you saved 200 hours, right? So when you perform the calculation earlier, we came to know that 20 minutes will be required in order to assemble one desktop. But actually, we only incurred 1800 hours, which means we saved 200 hours. So in this case, it is good for company, right? You are saving the cost of the company. So the standard price or the planned price was 31,750. But let's say due to some less activities that you consumed, let's say you were able to manufacture it in 31,000 itself. So you saved 750 rupees per desktop, which is a good thing. Okay, so same way, it can be other way around. Your cost, the planned cost is 31,750, but due to some reason, there was some rework, there were some other activities, due to which actually you incurred 32,000. So this is not good. This is a variance. So earlier one also was variance, but that was favorable variance, which means good for a company. Sometimes the variance is good for a company if it is less than the standard price. But if it is more than the standard price, then it is unfavorable, which means not good for the company. So irrespective of whether it is favorable or unfavorable, whatever is the difference between planned and actual price, that is called as variance. Okay, and it has to be booked separately. For each and every production order, you should be very clear that what was the variance, what was the total price, and what was the variance for that particular production order. And why are you calculating the variance? What is the need to calculate the variance? Why do we need the variance to be calculated separately?
To control the cost and to understand what actually going on.
Exactly.
And also need, I'm assuming it has impact on the financials as well, right?
Exactly right. So if I have done the standard costing, if I know the cost should be 31,750, and if it is going 32,000 or maybe 33,000, then definitely I want to see that as a management. We need to see what is going wrong, why we are incurring more than what is planned. Okay, whether there is something wrong with the process or something wrong with our calculation, right? So in order to do any controlling activity, you need this variance reports. Okay, and that is the reason we are performing the standard cost. Otherwise, there is no need of standard cost. See, the whole reason of having the standard cost is to make sure that the cost is controlled. If there is no standard cost in place, what will happen? Let it be whatever is the cost to manufacture it is. So sometimes it is 33,000, sometimes it is 34,000, nobody cares, right? So if you want to have the tight control, if you want to know what exactly is my cost, what was my planned cost, and why there is a deviation, why there is a variance, how can I control this variance, you need to have the standard cost, right? So what we are going to do now is, we will assume that you are manufacturing 10 or 100 desktops. Okay, so you will create a production order to manufacture 10 desktops or 100 desktops. And then you will carry out the process, entire process. Entire process means you will issue the raw material, you will do the activities, right? And finally, we will complete the manufacturing process. And at the completion of manufacturing process, let's say we will see two scenarios. One is favorable, another is unfavorable. And we will see the variance. Okay, we will see that the plant price was this much, but the actual price is different. And then we will understand how to take care of this variance, where exactly to post this variance. Right, so that is something which we need to discuss within product cost by order. The prerequisite of product cost by order is production orders. And if you want to create the production orders, you need a lot of PP related configuration. Okay, so that is exactly what we want to do today. But creation of production orders, doing all the activities, that we will do in the next session. Okay, so let's do the basic configuration which is required to create the production orders. Okay, so let's go to SPRO. I'll go to IMG. So all the PP related configurations you will be able to see under the production node. Okay, there are two ways. We all are not PP consultants, so it is always good to do try and error. Okay, instead of going for the configurations, although when I will be sending you the screenshots, I will send you the screenshots in the sequential manner. But the better way to do is, let's try to create a production order and see what are the errors we are getting. And one by one, we will try to resolve that error so that we are able to create a production order successfully. Right, so in order to create a production order, you will go to logistics, because PP is a logistics component. Something wrong. Let's try once again. It has become slow. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Vikram, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we are in the production module. Within logistics, you will go to production, and within production, you will go to shop floor control. Okay, shop floor control, order, and this is where system will allow you to create a production order. So CO01 is a transaction which will allow you to create a production order. Let's double click. Okay, so production order means what? Production order means you are telling the system that we are going to manufacture this material in this plant, this much quantity. Okay, so system is asking you which material you want to produce at what plant. So we want to manufacture desktop, right? In this production plant, there is an order type. Okay, there are different types of orders. If you do F4, system is not showing you any order type for our plant because the configuration is missing. The first configuration that we need to do is we need to copy one of the order type which we'll be using for plant ABCS. Okay, so let's go to the configuration now. So within production, again we will go to the shop floor control in IMG, master data, orders, and you have defined order types. Okay, so these are the different types of orders, PP01, PP02, PP04. Okay, these are the different types. Initially, as of now, let's create only one, PP01. Okay, so these are already created at the client level, but we need to assign it to our plant. Okay, that is done in this second activity. Define order type dependent parameters. Okay, so you can see this for each plant, you can extend the order. So what I'll do is simply, I don't need to go into the details of the PP module. I'll just copy this and specify my own plant, ABCS. So we've now told the system that for our plant ABCS, we are going to use production order type PP01. So now if I go to the production order, I should be able to select this new order type, right? So it is showing me PP01. Let's double click and press enter. Okay, we are getting another error now. It is saying MRP data of material is not maintained. Okay, so in order to create the production order, the very most important thing is you must have the MRP related details maintained in the material master. So if you remember in the material master, we only entered the information like accounting, purchasing and sales. If you want to add MRP related details in the material, you have to go for MM01. Okay, enter the material for which you want to create the MRP views. So desktop, press enter and select MRP 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, enter the plant and the storage location. And here, just enter the MRP type PD. Okay, MRP controller, I think you'll not be able to find in your plant. If you have created the new plant, by default system will not show you any MRP controller. So if you are getting this error, just click on yes, click on this and create one MRP controller. So define MRP controllers. Again, simply copy it from 0001. So I'm just copying it and my plant is ABCS. Enter, save, just come out and system will be able to show you that particular MRP controller. Okay, press enter. It will ask you for lot sizing procedure. Just select this first one, that is EX, and done. Okay, just keep on pressing enter. If there is any mandatory field, we need to maintain that. Otherwise, just keep on pressing enter and click on save. Okay, so now MRP view has been extended for this material. So there is MRP data available for this material. So now again, if I go to production order create, press enter. If it is still showing the same thing, just go out and try to come once again. Transaction CO01. Okay, so this is my material. Enter. Now it is giving me another error. It is saying work scheduling data for material is not maintained. Again, the problem with the material master itself. So what should I do? Again, go to the material, create material, desktop, enter. This time, select this work scheduling related tab. Enter, plant and storage location, enter. Nothing is mandatory, just click on save. Okay, so this part is also done, which means again, if I go for production order, let's go out and try once again. So CO01. Okay, now system is trying to create the production order. It is asking you how much quantity you want to manufacture. So let's keep 10. We want to manufacture 10 desktops. It is asking you the dates. When are you going to start the production process and when are you going to end the production process? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll say, because it is not going to take much time, so 12/01/2020. Okay, I'll start today and I'll finish today itself because it is very less quantity. And here in the type, just go for the backward calculation. Just press enter. Start date must not be later than the finish date. Okay, just remove this. System will automatically perform the calculation. When you say backward, system will automatically go and update the start date. Now it is saying system is not able to find the routing information. Okay, if you are getting this error, no routing information found in production version. Now what is production version? So there is one more master data that you need to maintain. Okay, I'll tell you what is production version. First, you need to come out of this. Okay, just below BOM and routing, if you remember, we created BOM and routing earlier. So that is part of logistics. Within logistics, you will go to production. Within production, you will go to master data. You can see BOM, you can see routing. Okay, and in the same thing, you will be able to see the production version, C223. Okay, double click on this. Plant, material, just enter your MRP controller if you want, otherwise just press enter. Okay, and click on this one, create a production version. Okay, for which material you want to create? I want to create this for desktop in this plant. Okay, production version, just do F4. If there is no production version existing, you can just enter the number, maybe 1 or something. Okay, so I'll enter 1. Production version. Okay, and very importantly, here you need to maintain two things. You need to maintain the BOM and you need to maintain the routing. So this task type, select N, which means routing. And if you do F4, if there is already routing available for this material, that will automatically get popped up. Okay, so we want the routing for which material? For desktop. See, there is a routing available, which we created earlier. So this routing, similarly, select the BOM. So again, if you do F4, system will show you this is a BOM available. Okay, no need to maintain anything else. Just click on save. This is fine. This is just for the information. Press enter and click on save. Production version means in the production version, you maintain the combination of BOM and routing. So you are telling the system which BOM and routing will be used whenever you'll be creating the production order. So now again, if I go for material, production plant and order type, press enter. How much quantity? I want to manufacture 10 units. What is my end date? So I want to complete this by today itself and do the backward processing, which means system will automatically identify the start date. Press enter. Okay. System is throwing another error. Scheduling parameters are not defined for production orders. So most of the errors you can solve using one way. Just click on this and see if there is a proceed button or execute function. Okay, because we don't need to go into the details of these errors are related to PP, but we need to do it because otherwise we'll not be able to see the CO related postings. Okay, so just go to execute function. If it works, okay. If it doesn't work, then you have to go to the SPRO. So scheduling parameters. How are you going to maintain the scheduling parameters? IMG, shop floor control. You will be able to see here scheduling parameters in the production. So let's see where exactly you are able to see scheduling related things. Not here. Not here also. Maybe here itself. Yeah, operations. Within shop floor control, operations and scheduling. Define the scheduling parameters for production orders. Again, just copy from 0001 and provide your own plant. Okay, press enter and save. So that part is also taken care now. Let's go to the production.
Scheduling parameter?
Sorry?
What's the purpose of this scheduling parameter?
Scheduling parameters, see, we are creating the production order. So within the production order, there are different activities which will take place in the background. So scheduling means what we are doing is this is scheduling itself. We are telling the system that we are going to complete this process on this date, and we are using the backward processing. So system should be able to calculate automatically what would be the start date, so that it will schedule when exactly this production will take place.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see once the scheduling parameters are entered, it is telling scheduling has been carried out. Okay, so it is not showing any error as of now. Let's try to save and see if it is getting saved or still there are some errors. We are getting another error. No valuation variant found for valuation area ABCS. Okay, so click on the question mark and see what is the error. Okay, go to the procedure, assign the valuation variant to valuation area in the configuration menu. Let me see what is this error. The system could not find the valid valuation variant for valuation area. Okay, this is related to costing again. So what I'll do is go to configuration. Similar to scheduling, you'll be able to see the costing related things. I'm just checking where exactly the costing related things will come into the picture. Let's try once again. The system is not able to perform the calculation of the cost. Okay, so as of now, I'll say yes. At least the production order will be created. Costing will not be carried out. Okay, because the valuation variant is not assigned. Okay, so you can see production order number saved. System was able to create a production order. I can go to the display. So this is a production order. Okay, it is clearly showing that we need to manufacture the desktop, 10 quantity. We need to start the manufacturing on this date and we need to complete this manufacturing on this date. But you'll be able to see the costing tabs. You can see this is the costing. Okay, or maybe you can go to cost analysis. So system by default tries to identify the cost. What will be the cost to manufacture these 10 units? Because system already knows per unit cost is 31,750. Okay, looking at the standard price, system already knows that in order to manufacture one unit, the price is 31,750. So multiplied by 10, it should automatically tell you when the production order is created. So when you create a production order, system will tell you what should be the planned price for this particular production order. But as of now, since we are getting that error, I think system is not able to perform that calculation. You can see system is not showing you any costing information. Otherwise, system will show you here what is the total cost, what is the planned cost, right? So maybe we can close here today, right? At least we understood how to create a production order and whatever configurations are required to create the production order. Now, next week onwards, maybe next session onwards, in the next session, what are we going to do is most of the activities will be relevant to the costing, right? Because the basic PP configurations we have already done, that is the reason we are able to create the production order. Okay, there are still some PP related activities will come when you will try to process this production order, but most of the activities now will be relevant to costing. Okay, so any question till now?
Vikram, I have a question. So this I understand in like our SAP side we have PP team. On the business side, who will be actually requesting to create the production order?
No, there is a production department. They will be doing it on their own. See, just think about the company. Think about the manufacturing company. So manufacturing companies, when we know that there is a shortage, we don't have sufficient material available in the stock, they will definitely, the production team will definitely go and create the production order and they will start the manufacturing process. So this is not the consultant's responsibility. This is not the accountant's responsibility. This is the responsibility of the production department to create the production order.
So it's an end user functional.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
End user.
Okay.
No role of consultant in production orders.
Okay. Thank you.
Consultant will only come into picture when there is anything wrong, like the production order has been created, but the costing is not carried out. Then they may ask you what exactly went wrong, why we are not able to see the cost in the production order.
I see. And sorry, one more question. So in production order, we will have, means the reflection will be of actual cost, right? Or the estimated
Both.
cost?
It will be both
Both.
plan, actual, and variance. It will show you all three categories.
Okay. Thank you.
So what will happen is when I go to this one and click on cost, as of now, it should only show me the planned cost because we have still not done any actual costing, right?
Yes.
So as of now, it will show you in order to manufacture this 10 units, total cost is this much. But when you start doing the expenses, when you consume the raw material, when you perform the activities, system will keep on adding that cost into the actual cost. And finally, once you confirm the order, when you say my order has been completed, the manufacturing is completed, then system will try to check what was the planned value, what is actual value, and it will show you the variance also.
Okay, Vikram. Thank you.
Okay. So any other question?
I'm sorry.
No problem,
One
go ahead.
Yeah. So, what would be purpose to have the reflection of the cost in the production order? No matter what, the production has to be carried out, right?
No, again, the same thing that you told, you only answered earlier. Why do we need to control? See,
But
if we continue the production, uh, without fixing the standard cost, then how you will come to know that whether the production is carrying out with the effective efficiency and or not, whether the uh, my production department is efficient, whether they are manufacturing the product with the correct process or there are some improvements which are required.
so controlling can be done, but if the order has been from the customer, if the order has been already taken, or the market estimated production planning is already in the system, then means I'm not sure, but is it just for the controlling purpose, or it can have
No, see,
other?
there are two things. See, you are taking the production, you are creating the production order because you want to manufacture this material, right?
Yes, yes.
So forget about controlling. Let's say even if there is no controlling at all, then too, whenever you are working as a manufacturing company, when you are operating the manufacturing company, you will be getting a lot of orders from the customers based on which you have to create the production orders in the system. You may also run the MTS scenario where you are uh, manufacturing the desktops and keeping it in the stock so that the customers will never go return, right? So production, we are not saying through controlling module we are stopping the production process or we are controlling the production process whether it should be carried out or not. Production will be obviously carried out, but the question here is why we are using controlling module, just to make sure that the production department is manufacturing the material at the right price with the proper efficiency. Because the obvious task of the controlling module is making sure that the cost is controlled, cost is minimized, and profit is maximized. Right? So how can you determine how can you control the cost? You can only control the cost when you know what should be the standards. If you know that, okay, in order to manufacture this desktop, I should not go beyond this point, then you will be able to control. But if you don't know that at all, so sometimes you'll be manufacturing at 35,000, sometimes you'll be manufacturing at 40,000 also, because you don't have any control on that. That is the reason we need controlling, to make sure that the variance is clearly visible, and looking at the variance, you will speak to the managers of the manufacturing department. You will tell them why this time the price has gone up, and they will give you their explanation. They can say you that raw material price has increased, or maybe the activity prices are increased, or maybe there was something wrong with the union or something like that, so that you can understand what is the problem and you make the corrective actions.
Yes, Vikram, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Okay, if not, I just wanted to check one thing with you, if all of you are okay, because we missed previous 1 or 2 sessions. Even yesterday's session was cancelled. So if you guys are available in this weekdays, we can have 1 or 2 sessions. Maybe if you're okay with 2 sessions, we can have on Tuesday and Thursday, followed by our normal sessions on Saturday, Sunday.
Vikram, I have recently started work, so for me, it will be not possible, Vikram.
So even if we have at 7:30 my time, like, is it also not possible for you?
No, the problem is not only that, Vikram, because of the holidays, the prior one class, which was very important for the product costing, I have missed that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there is already so much information to grasp, and if two
No
classes,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to check with you. So if not possible, then maybe we can meet as our regular time.
Thank you, Vikram.
Okay. Okay then. Any other things before we close today then?
Vikram, can you give any trick to memorize all this? Because I will be having interviews and the project assignment.
No, see, definitely. But the thing is, I will do one thing. I have a PPT on this, which is kind of mind map, which will help you understand which things are integrated with, where exactly the data is coming from, and all those things. But to be frank, that would be shortcut. So only way to memorize everything and making sure that it remains in your memory for the long term is practice.
Practice and system.
Practice in the system, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, I will try to send you today, or maybe by tomorrow. I'll send you one PPT to all of to all of you, which
Okay.
will help you to memorize all these topics, whatever we have discussed till now in product
Uh,
costing.
okay. And will that be from the interview perspective, or it will be from understanding perspective?
Both. It is, see that we don't need separate things for separate purpose. It is, if you understood the concept, you'll be able to answer the questions in the interviews also.
Okay, fine, Vikram.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Vikram.
Gaurav, can we talk after the class, please?
Yes, yes, yes. You can call me on the number.
Okay, sure.
Okay then, thank you all. And if not in weekdays, we will be meeting on next Saturday directly. Okay, so this link is going to be expired in this week, so I will be sending you another link. Please don't try to join the session with the same link. There will be new link for the next sessions. Thank you then. Bye.
Thank you, Vikram. Bye, everyone.